You and Jay sat comfortably on the large sofa in the living room, papers and laptops scattered around as you both worked on the AI project due the next day. For explaining the details of. So, Jay, I think we should focus more on the practical applications of AI in healthcare. You said scrolling through the slides on your laptop. The slide about AI in surgery needs more data. Jay nodded thoughtfully, her eyes on the screen. Yeah, that sounds good. We can use the example from that article we read last week. It fits perfectly. You smiled, glad that you were on the same page. Exactly, and we should probably remove this part about AI in entertainment. It feels a bit out of place, don't you think? Before Jay could respond, you felt a sudden warmth as someone gently closed their hands over your eyes from behind. Your heart skipped a beat and you froze in place, shocked by the unexpected touch. Who? You began, but your voice trailed off as your mind raced. Jay's face turned serious as she looked up at the person behind you. Her eyes narrowed and her lips pressed into a thin line. Papa, what did you do? She asked, her voice tinged with a mix of concern and annoyance. The person behind you hesitated, then slowly removed their hands. You stood up and turned around, your breath catching in your throat. Jungkook, you whispered, your heart fluttered, and despite your best efforts to stay calm, a smile spread across your face. You had missed him terribly over the past week. It was almost impossible to hide the happiness in your eyes as you looked at him, standing there with that familiar smirk on his face. Jungkook, your best friend's brother and the notorious mafia leader, stood there, his dark eyes meeting yours. He had that playful glint in his eyes that always made you feel both nervous and excited at the same time. Jay, you, he said, his voice tinged with surprise as he turned to face his sister. His smile faltered for a moment as he saw the serious expression on her face. Jay crossed her arms, giving him a stern look. What did you do, Appa? Shankar chuckled nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. I thought it was you, Jay, but I didn't know it was your friend Ryan. He said, his voice trailing off as he glanced back at you. His eyes softened as he smiled at you, though there was a hint of hesitation in his expression. Inside, though he was thrilled, he had done it on purpose. Sure you did, she said, rolling her eyes. Anyway, we are busy with the project, so you can go now. Jungkook pouted, turning to his sister. Jay, aren't you happy? Jay made a weird face, clearly unimpressed. Appa, seriously? We are trying to finish the project and you're just interrupting. He couldn't help but giggle at their interaction, feeling a little shy under Jungkook's gaze. Well, if you don't want me here, I guess I will leave you both to your project, he said, trying to hide the disappointment in his voice. But as he turned to go upstairs, he couldn't resist, stealing one last glance at you. You caught his eyes just as he was about to look away, and for a split second the room seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of you. And then you quickly shifted your gaze, trying to focus on anything but him. Good luck with your project, he called over his shoulder as he headed upstairs, but his eyes lingered on you until he was out of sight. Once he was gone, Jay let out a sigh and shook her head. Honestly, my brother is something else. You nodded, trying to regain your composure. Yeah, he really is, you murmured, still feeling. Jay noticed the slight smile on your face and raised an eyebrow. Ryan, are you okay? You're acting a bit different. You quickly shook your head, forcing a neutral expression. I'm fine. Jay gave you a knowing look but didn't press further. The night had settled in, and you were still at Jay's house working on the AI project. The deadline was looming, and there was no way you could leave now, especially with your parents out of town for work. Jay had offered for you to stay the night. You stretched your arms above your head, trying to shake the fatigue. I think we are almost done, Jay. Just a few more tracks and we should be good to go. Jay nodded, yawning. Yeah, let's get some sleep. We will finish it up in the morning. As you were about to settle in, you noticed that the water bottle was empty. Oh, I forgot to fill the bottle. I will go get some water, you said, getting up from the bed. Jay waved her hand dismissively. Don't worry about it, Ryan. The maids will take care of it. You shook your head already, heading towards the door. It's okay, I don't want to trouble them. Jay gave you a spectacle look. Are you sure? You have been here since morning and you're still confused about which room is which. You might get lost on your way back. Her words hit your ego and you turned to her with a determined smile. I'll be fine, Jay. I'm smart, remember. I will find my way back. Jay chuckled amused. Alright, smarty pants. Don't get lost. He flashed her a confident grin and headed out of the room. The house was quiet as you walked through the dimly lit hallway, the soft light of the moon filtering through the windows. You made your way to the kitchen. As you walked down the upstairs corridor, you felt proud of yourself for remembering the way back. You reached what you thought it was Jay's room and opened the door casually, stepping inside. So Jay, I got the water. You can't say I'm not smart now, you said, laughing softly as you closed the door behind you. But something felt off. The room was darker than you remembered, and there was an unfamiliar scent in the air. You looked around, expecting to see Jay on the bed. Jay, you called out, your voice uncertain. Just then you heard the sound of running water from the bathroom. Relief washed over you. Oh, she must be in the bathroom, you thought to yourself. You were about to sit down on the bed when you suddenly heard a voice, deep and unmistakably male, coming from the bathroom. "One, can you hand me a towel?" the voice called out. Your heart skipped a beat and you froze. That wasn't Jay's voice, it was Jungkook. Jungkook, he stammered, utterly confused. What was he doing here? This was supposed to be Jay's room. But then you remembered Jay could perfectly mimic Jungkook's voice, and you had been tricked by her before. You narrowed your eyes, determined not to be fooled. "Oh, Jay, you think you're so funny, huh?" you muttered under your breath, a playful smirk on your lips. You grabbed a towel from a nearby chair. "Here, take it," you said, extending the towel towards the door, fully expecting Jay to burst out laughing at her successful crime. But before you could react, a strong hand grabbed your wrist and yanked you inside the bathroom. The door slammed shut behind you, and you found yourself face to face with Jungkook, who was standing there shirtless with water droplets. Your eyes widened in shock, and your breath caught in your throat. This wasn't a prank, this was very real. "Jungkook," he spoke, your voice barely a low whisper. Your heart was racing and you could feel your cheeks burning with embarrassment. Jungkook's expression was a mix of surprise and amusement. He leaned closer, his gaze locking on to yours. "What are you doing in my room, Ryan?" he asked, his voice low and pacing. "I thought it was Jay's room," he stammered, your eyes darting anywhere but at him. His bare chest was way too distracting and you would desperately. Jungkook chuckled softly, clearly enjoying your discomfort. "Jay's room is down the hall, Ryan. You must have gotten confused." You mentally cursed yourself for being so confident. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I will just go now," you blurted out, trying to turn around and escape, but Jungkook didn't let go of your breast. "Wait," he said, his tone suddenly more serious. You looked up at him, and your breath hitched as you noticed the intense look in his eyes. "You don't need to be in such a hurry." You were about to turn and leave the bathroom, your heart pounding in your chest, when Jungkook suddenly spoke. "Wait," he said, his voice firm but gentle. You froze, your hand still on the door handle. Slowly you turned back to look at him. Jungkook was standing there, his dark eyes locked onto yours. The bathroom was silent, the only sound being the rapid beating. Then, without warning, Jungkook leaned in closer, his face just inches from yours. His eyes flickered down to your lips, and you felt a shiver run down your spine. "Did you miss me?" he asked, his voice low and almost a whisper. You felt a wave of heart race off your cheeks, and your breath hissed as you struggled to find your voice. You began, but the words caught in your throat. Before you could say anything more, you quickly turned your head away, trying to break the spell he seemed to cast over you. You knew you should leave, but Jungkook still had a firm grip on your breast, keeping you in place. You stood there, your face burning with embarrassment, unsure of what to do next. You could feel his gaze on you. Jungkook leaned in closer, his lips brushing against your ear as he whispered, "I missed you, Van." His words sent a shiver through your body, and you struggled to keep the small smile from appearing on your lips. How much those words affected you. You gently pulled your hand from his grip and hurried out of the bathroom, your mind spinning. But as you stepped into the hallway, you were met with a sight that made your heart sink. A tall, stunning woman stood in front of you, her stylish clothes and sharp gaze making her presence. "Who are you?" Caught off guard, you stammered. "I'm Ryan." Before you could say more, the bathroom door opened and Jungkook stepped out. "Nancy," he said, shocked. Nancy's confusion quickly turned into anger as she shot Jungkook a glare. "Jungkook, what's going on here?" "Nancy, don't think too much. Nothing happened," Jungkook replied, trying to calm the situation. He stood awkwardly, feeling like an outsider. Curiosity got the better of you and you asked quietly, "Ryan?" "Jungkook, who is she?" "Ryan, this is Nancy. She is my best friend," he explained gently, turning back to Nancy. "Nancy, this is Ryan." Nancy cold stirred then softened. "So you're Ryan," she said, her voice distant. She smiled awkwardly, trying to be polite, but Nancy didn't return it. "I will just go," he murmured, stepping back to give them space. As he walked away, you couldn't help but glance back. Nancy stood close to Jungkook, her hand resting on his arm, speaking in a low voice. Later at breakfast, your mind was still swirling with images of Nancy. Jay's voice broke through your thought as she sat down beside you. "Ryan, did you get lost in your thoughts again last night?" Jay frowned. "What's going on?" Forcing a smile, you replied, "I'm fine, just tired." "It was a lie, but hope." She The conversation at breakfast didn't help. Jay casually asked Jungkook, "Where did you meet Nancy?" "A friend's wedding," Jungkook answered without hesitation. "We have been friends for years." Jay raised an eyebrow. "Honey, I wasn't invited to this wedding." The playful edge in her voice made you feel more uncomfortable, especially when she scooted closer to Jungkook, watching your reaction. Lost in thought, you accidentally dipped your hand into the hot soup. "Ah," you gasped in pain. Before you could even react, Jungkook was by your side, pulling your hand gently into a bowl of ice. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. "Wow, Jungkook, I have never seen you this worried about anyone except Jay," she said icily. Jungkook didn't even look at her, his focus remained on you. "Be more careful, Ryan," he said softly, his hand still lingered over yours. You nodded, heart racing from his touch. "I'm fine, thank you," you whispered. It had been 3 days since Nancy started staying at Jay's house, and you couldn't help but notice how closely she observed every interaction between you and Jungkook. She seemed to grow more and more agitated, and you had a feeling something was coming. One evening, while you were standing alone on the balcony looking out at the distant lights of the city, you heard footsteps behind you. Turning around, you saw Nancy. "Wine," she called out, her voice firm. You swallowed hard, sensing the tension in the air. "Nancy, what's up?" "I need to ask you something. Do you like Jungkook?" Her question took you by surprise, and for a moment you were unsure how to respond. "No, I don't." "Good. Don't even think about liking him. Jungkook is mine, and he will always be. It's better for you if you stay away from him. If you try to come between us, I promise you will never see him again." You felt a lump in your throat. Over the next 2 days, you began distancing yourself from Jungkook, Nancy's possessive words echoing in your mind. You avoided eye contact, ignored his questions, and kept your conversation brief. On the second night, Jungkook returned home expecting to see you, but you weren't around. His worry grew when Jane nervously told him, "Ryan left a little while ago. She didn't take an umbrella, and now she is not answering her phone. Where did she go in this weather?" Jungkook looked out at the pouring rain, his concern deepening. Nancy entered the room, her voice dismissive. "It's fine, Jungkook. Why overstayed her welcome? Why worry about someone so unnecessary?" Jungkook's expression darkened. "What did you just say?" His voice was low, dangerously calm. Nancy faltered, realizing she had crossed a line. "I just meant—" "Shut up, Nancy." Jungkook snapped, his eyes blazing with anger. "Ryan isn't unnecessary. She's everything to me. If you can't see that, maybe it's time for you to leave." Nancy's confidence crumbled, but Jungkook didn't wait for her response. He stormed out, grabbing his keys. The rain beat heavily against his car as he sped through the streets, his heart pounding with worry. He searched relentlessly until he finally spotted you, drenched and walking around. "Ryan," he shouted, grabbing your hand. You turned in surprise. "Jungkook, what are you doing here?" His eyes softened and his grip tightened. "Don't leave me like that again. You don't know what you mean to me." Tears welled up in your eyes. "But Nancy," she said. "Forget what she said." Jungkook interrupted, pulling you closer. "You're the only one I care about. You're the one who has my heart." Your heart swelled at his words, and you threw your arms around him, tears mixing with the rain. "I love you, Jungkook. I love you too," he whispered, his voice full of emotion. "Will you be mine, Vine, forever?" "You were planning to propose?" "Now reply fast, princess," he said with a pout. "Yes, I will." Jungkook slipped the ring onto your finger, pulling you into a tight embrace. As the rain poured down around you, in that moment, despite everything. Thank you for watching.